What's up, Bandai Modelers? This is Strider Prime bringing you a new edition of Bandai Models. I haven't done one in a while, and I've been meaning to do one. I've been trying to figure out what I wanted to make recently, and after pondering, I thought I'm making this guy. The 1/1000 scale Great Imperial Garmillas Astrofleet Garmillas Warship, set number 2, from, of course, the Space Battleship Yamato 2199 animated series. I've been sitting on these ships, especially a lot of other ships, for quite some time, and I thought I'd like to build something quickly and paint it quickly, and maybe bring it to a show if I want to. And even though this thing has a lot of parts, it's actually a lot of parts based on the fact that it has multiple ships. It has this massive ship, which is referred to as the Garmillas class ship, which is actually being commanded by Commander Schultz, for those of you who watched the animated series. And it's supported by two, hold on, I'm trying to pronounce this right, Cupitira class destroyers. I'm probably gonna have to do a Google Translate and translate it for me. So if I butcher it, I apologize. I will correct this during the course of the build. But these two are, of course, destroyer class ships, small little destroyers. This is the second set. I have the first set, of course, which is the cruiser and the fast attack cruiser. But this one is the, I guess you could say, the battle. It's version of the battleship. It is very big, bigger than the Yamato, of course. I really like its overall design, and I know that there's another one out there that they came out with, which was another class of ship, which is a different front nozzle here. So I thought it would be a good idea to bring this to MosquitoCon, and I do have time to do this. Because unlike a Gundam kit where I have to paint each part individually, which takes a little time, this one you can build it all in one shot, then paint it, and then do layers and layers. Kind of like I did with the 1/500 scale Yamato that I built last year. So let's look at the contents of this kit and see what we have to work with here. First thing, let's look at the sides. There's the ship right there, and there's the destroyer. Obviously, green is the motif, and there's a light green below, but we're going to change it up a bit, maybe give it a different color tone. I have green, I just don't know if I have light green. Most likely this is gray. So you get two of these ships, but you also get an added bonus. You get this little tank here as well. So, yeah, I'll probably build it, but I don't think I'll bring it to the show. Alright, so I see some of the detailed features there, like the little wing thingies that you put on. I see some clear parts here. However, I'm noticing this, which is the decals. I don't mind putting on these decals. It's these decals that I'm not going to put on. I really liked how I was able to figure out doing a combination of orange and yellow and red. And I'm going to try to do the same thing with this guy. Not only these parts here, but these little parts here. That's going to be very small. Here's the portion of the hull, basically the underside of the hull. Very good detail, though. And there. Okay, here's some parts of the tank. Oh, there's a lot of parts to make up this tank, but I see parts, of course, for the ship as well. More detail parts for the weaponry and things like that. So I see that instead of yellow, they use like a very light mustard color, and more underside parts. Then I guess, oh, this is the ship, the actual destroyers themselves. The bag for the base stand, parts for the tank, and parts for the remaining of the ship, which is out of its bag, surprisingly. Alright, let's pull out all this. Now, even though this is snapped together, the smaller parts you need to glue. There's no way around that. So let's put that here. And let's look at the manual. Alright, so I remember seeing this ship at Comic-Con last year. It really looks cool. Really looks cool. I'm hoping that we see more, you know, Space Battleship Yamato and 2199 ships. We are seeing a few, and they're doing the Mecha Collection mini kits, more of those. But it'd be nice if they did another season and we see some really cool Federation ships. So here's the detail. This is the page for the detail parts. I see some, interestingly enough, I'm seeing some things that you don't really need to select. I don't know why they don't put that there, but maybe because it was left over from other parts or other kits. See some extra things that they said now you don't need to use. Alright, that's totally understandable. Tools that you need, how to remove it, how to remove the decals. Yes, we all know that. It will begin with the battleship. Okay, just reviewing this. Now, if I had time, LEDs would have been great on this, because according to this section over here, which represents, this section, you could put a light under there, which of course, if you put the clear part, this is actually a clear part. So if you leave the clear part alone and put the clear, you know, don't put the decal on it, and you put a light source under it, it'll definitely illuminate well. I don't know how powerful the light would have been, you know, streaming right through that clear part, because I remember when I was doing the light fixture on the Yamato, I had to put like a little bit of a toilet paper type mesh to filter the light, so it didn't, you know, it wasn't too bright inside. Obviously, for something like this, the light source would have been a 3-watt CMOS battery. So, and then okay, so we'll continue on with the fixtures, the placement of the weapon, the placement of the forward portion of the ship, then the upper portion of the hull. Then we have more detailed picture of the ships already completed. See the tank, which is really cool, and then the destroyer. Okay, and once then you're putting on the little fins and the stabilization wings on it. And then you put on the part for the stand, and it's complete. And then, of course, the next page is the assembly of the destroyer. Again, the destroyer is very small, and maybe you can get away with putting a light fixture on that one too, because it has that clear part. Again, I wish I had time. And it's an easy quick build for the ship. And then, of course, the assembly of the tank, or they refer to it as the space tank. So here it is, of course, what the kit looks like, painted. And cool thing about this is I like this design, this aggressor type camouflage, which is, we've seen, for those military historians who like naval ships, preferably I would probably say like the German ships. German ships like, I think, the Turpists and the Prince Eugene, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. They had that weird, like, you know, like a stripe color down the length of, not the length of the ship, like down the middle of the ship, and it kind of like curved, or it was in an angle. I really like how they did it with this one, and I'm actually compelled to do that. You know what? So basically that could be black or dark gray, green, understand. You know what? Yeah, Yes, I am going to do that. I'm going to do this paint scheme. Maybe a slight variation of the colors, but who knows. Speaking of colors, give me a minute. Okay, so reviewing everything that I see here. There are certain parts that I think will not be always automatically put on the minute I finish painting. But some will, of course. Looking at this design, the cool thing about the ship is that the actual panel lining of the ship corresponds to the design of where you want to paint this. So you don't need, I mean, yes, you're going to mask it, but it's not going to be masked, you know, in a specific way where it's going to screw up. It's going to be easy and simple. So I'm definitely want to try this type of pattern. And for those of you who can't see it, let me just zoom it in so you can see what I'm referring to. Yeah, see that. So you have green, of course. You have a lighter shade of green under it, darker shade of green top. Then you have like a black or charcoal color in the specs here. And then this entire area here is all white, or based on this, it looks like off-white. Then, of course, looking at it under the ship right here in this section, the top part will be covered here in the front and then in the back, but the bottom part is gold. This looks gold. I'm thinking about using not L-clad gold, but this one, Tamiya gold. I've had this sitting in the wings for quite some time, so I thought this would probably be appropriate if I decide to do this. Now, for the green, I want something a little stronger because obviously this kit's going to be painted all green before I add the extra layer. So the only green that I have here, and I believe I have enough, yes, is Model Master's dark green. This was the one that I used when I was painting my Gyaradoga. Was it the Gyaradoga? Yes, the Gyaradoga Master Grade. So this will be a good choice of using some enamel paint. I haven't used enamel in quite some time, and I do believe I have some enamel thinner for me to apply this. So once the enamel is applied and it's done, the underside, that's the one thing that I'm a bit worried. It doesn't have to be green. It could be a combination. Don't know if I think I may use the dark gray. The dark gray may be a good choice, but I'm not 100% sure. Been thinking of going to the hobby store and see if I can find something equivalent to that, or I can always figure out a mixture if I have to. Nevertheless, this is a good idea to use in the bottom. For the extra layer color, originally I was thinking of maybe using dark gray because I think the gray and the green should be somewhat okay. As a matter of fact, maybe I should change that and use light gold gray under the bottom of the ship. So the bottom part of the ship is light gold gray. The top part will be green. The stripe parts would be dark gray. The missile ports will be red, which I have right here. Actually, this is metallic red. I gotta pull the other red out. The design here will be a combination of orange and yellow, like I did with the other kit, with my Master Grade Wing Zero Proto Zero, I think it was. So yeah. Now, if I'm going to do this, and I decide to do this one also, I might as well do the technique like I did here with this. Oh, and by the way, the white will be off-white, like I mentioned. But going back to this. So yeah, I think maybe it would be a good idea to paint, you know, the aggressive colors on the small ships as well, because I do see the lining here, 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 and here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 separations. So it could be 3 on 3. That should be adequate. Yeah. All right. I think I have all the paints necessary, and obviously the trim of the I don't know if there's a decal for the canopy, but obviously we'll use yellow. I don't know if I use this yellow. It's a little too bright, but we'll don't know. We'll figure it out soon enough. All right. I hope you guys will like the idea of what I'm going to do with this. So let's begin building the Garmillas Warship set 2.